Alright, so the other thing I wanted to kind of talk about, but I didn't get the other chance in the other video because I ran out of time, um, was basically you need to kind of find out that everyone has cognitive dissonance, right? And it's basically things that you almost lie to yourself about to make yourself believe it's okay or whatever. And the most common that you'll see people with this is when they have big vices, right? So they smoke or they do a lot of weed or they drink a lot. And most of the time people like this will convince themselves that their version of whatever vice they have or the way that they do it is not harmful and it's okay for whatever reason. And I mean, everyone always goes off when you say something like that because they're like, oh, but what about enjoying parts of life, right? Sure, you can enjoy parts of life and whatnot, but lying to yourself isn't that, right? Lying to yourself that when you smoke, it's not the same as someone smoking chronically, right? Who actually has the balls to admit that they're addicted, right? So what I'm basically trying to say is you need to listen out to what your brain tells you, right? Because when there are real problems like this, you'll know, but you'll just hide it from yourself. And you have to really look out for it. You have to look out for when you're hiding that. And for a while I had this with casually smoking weed, right? I'd ignore it. I'd ignore the fact that I'd feel slightly bad. But the thing that ended up happening was I kind of felt worse and worse about it as time went on, to the point where I'd be sober enough to be able to block out those thoughts of, oh, you shouldn't be doing this is bad, etc., etc. But then after I did smoke, what would end up happening is I'd lose control over my mind and those thoughts would come straight back, and this time they'd be even worse and I'd feel guilty about myself. And eventually, I reflected on this and realized that my brain was basically screaming at me to stop because it was wasting so much time, wasting so much of my energy, and it was pointing out to me areas that, I needed to improve on. And chances are your brain's doing the same thing. It's very, very unlikely that it's not. But if you watch the previous video, it's a lot harder to, detect these things early when you're in a loop of content consumption and your own thoughts are being blocked from you. So if you haven't seen that one, it'll be the one that was uploaded right before this one, and I'd recommend it. I think it would be very beneficial to watch, and maybe these two together will have some sort of advantage combined. They're slightly on different topics, but I guess they're both trying to help solve related problems. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. I hope that was of some help, and I'll see you next time.